The kangaroo is a marsupial from the family Macropodidae, macropods, meaning large foot. In common use, the term is used to describe the largest species from this family, the red kangaroo, as well as the antilopine kangaroo, eastern gray kangaroo, and western gray kangaroo. Kangaroos are indigenous to Australia and New Guinea. The Australian government estimates that 42.8 million kangaroos lived within the commercial harvest areas of Australia in 2019, down from 53.2 million in 2013. Kangaroos have large, powerful hind legs, large feet adapted for leaping, a long muscular tail for balance, and a small head. Like most marsupials, female kangaroos have a pouch called a marsupium in which joeys complete postnatal development. Because of its grazing habits, the kangaroo has developed specialized teeth that are rare among mammals. Its incisors are able to crop grass close to the ground and its molars chop and grind the grass. Since the two sides of the lower jaw are not joined or fused together, the lower incisors are farther apart, giving the kangaroo a wider bite. The silica in grass is abrasive, so kangaroo molars are ground down and they actually move forward in the mouth before they eventually fall out, and are replaced by new teeth that grow in the back. This process is known as polyphyodontia and, amongst other mammals, only occurs in elephants and manatees. The large kangaroos have adapted much better than the smaller macropods to land clearing for pastoral agriculture and habitat changes brought to the Australian landscape by humans. Many of the smaller species are rare and endangered, while kangaroos are relatively plentiful. The kangaroo is a symbol of Australia, appears on the Australian coat of arms and on some of its currency, and is used as a logo for some of Australia's most well-known organisations, such as Qantas, and as the roundel of the Royal Australian Air Force. The kangaroo is important to both Australian culture and the national image, and consequently there are numerous popular culture references. Wild kangaroos are shot for meat, leather hides, and to protect grazing land. Kangaroo meat has perceived health benefits for human consumption compared with traditional meats due to the low level of fat on kangaroos. The kangaroo has always been a very important animal for Aboriginal Australians, for its meat, hide, bone, and tendon. Kangaroo hides were also sometimes used for recreation. In particular, there are accounts of some tribes, Kurnai, using stuffed kangaroo scrotum as a ball for the traditional football game of Marngrook. In addition, there were important dreaming stories and ceremonies involving the kangaroo. A Harange is a current kangaroo dreaming site in the Northern Territory. Unlike many of the smaller macropods, kangaroos have fared well since European settlement. European settlers cut down forests to create vast grasslands for sheep and cattle grazing, added stock watering points in arid areas, and have substantially reduced the number of dingoes. Kangaroos are shy and retiring by nature, and in normal circumstances present no threat to humans. In 2003, Lulu, an eastern grey which had been hand-reared, saved a farmer's life by alerting family members to his location when he was injured by a falling tree branch. She received the RSPCA Australia National Animal Valour Award on the 19th of May 2004. There are very few records of kangaroos attacking humans without provocation. However, several such unprovoked attacks in 2004 spurred fears of a rabies-like disease possibly affecting the marsupials. The only reliably documented case of a fatality from a kangaroo attack occurred in New South Wales in 1936. A hunter was killed when he tried to rescue his two dogs from a heated fray. Other suggested causes for erratic and dangerous kangaroo behavior include extreme thirst and hunger. In July 2011, a male red kangaroo attacked a 94-year-old woman in her own backyard as well as her son and two police officers responding to the situation. The kangaroo was capsicum sprayed, pepper sprayed, and later put down after the attack. Kangaroos, even those that are not domesticated, can communicate with humans, according to a research study. The kangaroo is a recognizable symbol of Australia. The kangaroo and emu feature on the Australian coat of arms. Kangaroos have also been featured on coins, most notably the 5 kangaroos on the Australian $1 coin. The Australian-made logo consists of a golden kangaroo in a green triangle to show that a product is grown or made in Australia. Registered trademarks of early Australian companies using the kangaroo included Young, Schallenberger & Co. Walla Walla brand leather and skins 1890, Arnold V. Hen 1892, whose emblem showed a family of kangaroos playing with a skipping rope. Robert Lascelles & Co. linked the speed of the animal with its velocipedes 1896, while some overseas manufacturers, like that of the Kangaroo, safety matches made in Japan, of the early 1900s, also adopted the symbol. Even today, Australia's national airline, Qantas, uses a bounding kangaroo for its logo. The kangaroo appears in Rudyard Kipling's Just So Stories, the sing-song of Old Man Kangaroo. While the kangaroo is chased by a dingo, he gives Nakong the big god's advice, that his legs and tail grew longest before 5 o'clock. The kangaroo and wallaby feature predominantly in Australian sports teams' names and mascots. Examples include the Australian National Rugby League team, the Kangaroos, and the Australian National Rugby Union team, the Wallabies. In a nationwide competition held in 1978 for the 12th Commonwealth Games by the Games Australia Foundation Limited in 1982, Hugh Edwards' design was chosen. A simplified form of 6 thick stripes arranged in pairs extending from along the edges of a triangular center represent both the kangaroo in full flight, and a stylized A for Australia. Kangaroos are well represented in films, television, books, toys and souvenirs around the world. Skippy the Bush Kangaroo was a popular 1960s Australian children's television series about a fictional pet kangaroo. Kangaroos are featured in the Rolf Harris song, Tie Me Kangaroo Down, Sport, and several Christmas carols. Kangaroos have single-chambered stomachs quite unlike those of cattle and sheep, which have 4 compartments. They sometimes regurgitate the vegetation they have eaten, chew it as cud, and then swallow it again for final digestion. However, this is a different, more strenuous activity than it is in ruminants, and does not take place as frequently. Different species of kangaroos have different diets, although all are strict herbivores. The eastern gray kangaroo is predominantly a grazer, and eats a wide variety of grasses, whereas some other species such as the red kangaroo include significant amounts of shrubs in their diets. Smaller species of kangaroos also consume hypogeel fungi. Many species are nocturnal and crepuscular, usually spending the hot days resting in shade, and the cool evenings, nights and mornings moving about and feeding. Despite having herbivorous diets similar to ruminants such as cattle, which release large quantities of digestive methane through exhaling and eructation, burping, kangaroos release virtually none. The hydrogen byproduct of fermentation is instead converted into acetate, which is then used to provide further energy. Scientists are interested in the possibility of transferring the bacteria responsible for this process from kangaroos to cattle. Since the greenhouse gas effect of methane is 23 times greater than carbon dioxide per molecule,